after an investigation reportedly uncovered a drug used for euthanizing animals inside various brands of dog food. A recall has been issued.
The investigation found environmental salmonella in the plant, meaning the bacteria had colonized the facility itself. It was in the dust, on the equipment, in the air handling systems. That was a facility sanitation failure. Salmonella can survive in dry environments for months, even years if cleaning protocols fail. After the outbreak, Diamond implemented enhanced safety measures, but the damage to consumer trust was done. The real lesson is to always check where your dog food is manufactured, not just what brand name is on the label. Two completely different brands can have identical risk profiles if they share a facility, and sometimes the facility is just the start of the problem. But what if a brand just keeps getting caught shipping contaminated raw food year after year and won't stop? 8. Multiple raw food brands. Performance Dog, Aunt Jenny's, Raw Bistro. Between 2023 and 2024, multiple smaller raw food brands were hit with recalls for the same pathogens, Salmonella and Listeria. Performance Dog recalled multiple products in 2024 for Salmonella. Aunt Jenny's Homemade recalled various raw formulas for potential Salmonella contamination. Raw Bistro faced similar issues. These aren't massive corporate operations. They're smaller companies marketing natural, ancestral, and biologically appropriate diets. The pitch sounds great, but the execution is quite dangerous. But raw meat is inherently risky. It requires cold chain management from sourcing through distribution, dedicated production facilities to prevent cross-contamination, regular environmental testing, and finished product pathogen testing before release. Many small raw food companies simply don't have the resources or infrastructure for pharmaceutical-grade safety protocols. Studies show that raw diets have significantly higher rates of bacterial contamination compared to cooked foods. But you're not just feeding your dog. You're handling the food with your hands. Your dog licks the bowl, then licks your face. Your kid drops food on the floor, picks it up. Bacteria spreads. If you're committed to raw feeding, you need to treat it like handling raw chicken for your own meals. Separate cutting boards, immediate cleanup, hand washing, and for God's sake, don't let your dog lick your face right after eating. These smaller brands aren't evil. They're just under-resourced for the safety standards required. But being under-resourced doesn't protect your dog or your family. And speaking of resources, if you think a massive retailer would get safety right, think again. Number 7. Blue Ridge Beef. Blue Ridge Beef markets itself as premium raw food for pets. But in December 2024, the FDA issued a recall for over 2,400 pounds of their puppy mix and kitten mix, after testing found both Salmonella and Listeria monocytogenes in the products. Think about that combination for a second. Two of the most dangerous foodborne pathogens in food marketed, specifically for vulnerable young animals with developing immune systems. To make this particularly nasty, Listeria can survive and even grow in refrigerated conditions. Your fridge doesn't protect you, and Salmonella spreads through contact. Your hands, your counter, your kid's toy the puppy just licked. The recall notice specifically warned that humans handling the food could get sick, especially children, elderly people, and anyone with a weakened immune system. Raw food companies love to talk about ancestral diets and natural nutrition. What they don't mention is that commercial raw feeding requires pharmaceutical-grade safety protocols that many simply don't have. Blue Ridge Beef's December 2024 recall proved they weren't meeting that standard. Before we get to number 6, if this information is helping you make safer choices for your dog, hit that subscribe button. We dig into food safety issues the industry doesn't want you talking about, and more than 70% of you watching aren't subscribed yet. Let's change that. Also, tell me in the comments, which dog food brand are you using now? I'd like to know. Now, back to the list. Number 6. Blue Buffalo. Blue Buffalo built an empire on natural ingredients and no byproducts promises. Commercials showed happy families and healthy dogs. The packaging screamed premium quality. Then in 2014, Purina sued Blue Buffalo for false advertising, claiming Blue Buffalo products actually contained poultry byproduct meal, despite label claims. Blue Buffalo initially denied it, then admitted that yes, some of their products did contain byproducts due to supplier errors. They blamed their ingredient suppliers and settled, but the byproducts were just the beginning. In 2017, a class action lawsuit claimed Blue Buffalo products contained dangerous levels of lead and other heavy metals. Independent lab testing commissioned by the plaintiffs found lead levels that raised concerns. Blue Buffalo denied the allegations, and the case went through years of legal battles. Then in 2019, a Clean Label Project study tested over 900 pet food products for heavy metals and contaminants. Blue Buffalo products appeared on lists showing elevated levels of heavy metals, BPA, and other concerning substances. The company disputed the methodology and results. Here's the problem. Heavy metals accumulate over time. Lead, mercury, cadmium, arsenic, they build up in your dog's body with repeated exposure. Symptoms aren't immediate, they're subtle. Behavioral changes, kidney problems, neurological issues that develop over months or years. By the time you notice, the damage is done. The FDA hasn't issued recalls or warnings, and Blue Buffalo maintains their products are safe and meet all regulations. But multiple independent tests, multiple lawsuits, and that false advertising admission create a pattern that's hard to ignore. Blue Buffalo is now owned by General Mills, and they've made changes to quality, control, and transparency. But can you trust a brand that lied about byproducts and fought heavy metal allegations for years? At least Blue Buffalo's problems developed slowly over time, but sometimes the formula itself is dangerous. Number 5. Purina Beneful. Beneful is everywhere. Grocery stores, big box retailers, convenience stores. It's one of the most widely sold dog food brands in America. But between 2012 and 2015, thousands of pet owners filed complaints claiming Beneful made their dogs sick or killed them. A 2015 class action lawsuit alleged that Beneful contained toxic levels of propylene glycol and mycotoxins. The lawsuit claimed more than 3,000 dogs had died after eating Beneful. Symptoms reported included vomiting, diarrhea, kidney failure, liver damage, seizures, bloat, and internal bleeding. Purina denied all allegations, and the case was eventually dismissed, with the court finding insufficient evidence to prove Beneful caused the illnesses. Purina maintained that Beneful met all FDA and AFCO standards and was safe, but thousands of owners were convinced their dogs died from this food. Online forums exploded with testimonials, photos, vet records. Was it Beneful, or was it confirmation bias and coincidence? Legally, Purina won, but in the court of public opinion, the brand took a massive hit. To this day, you'll find heated debates in dog owner communities about whether Beneful is safe. The ingredients list on Beneful isn't great. Corn and wheat are top ingredients. The protein quality is questionable. Is it toxic? The FDA says no. Would I feed it to my dog? Also no. There are too many better options at similar price points to take the risk. Even if every Beneful bag rolling off the line today is perfectly safe, the ghost of those 3,000 reported deaths still haunts the brand. But what of a brand with food containing substances that should never be anywhere near a dog bowl? Number 4. Ol' Roy. Ol' Roy is Walmart's private label dog food. It's one of the cheapest options on the shelf, and millions of families buy it because it's affordable. But cheap has a cost. Ol' Roy has faced multiple recalls over the years. In 2007, it was part of the massive Menu Foods melamine recall that killed and sickened thousands of pets. In 2018, it was included in the J.M. Smucker pentobarbital scandal, testing positive for a euthanasia drug. Let me say that again. Traces of pentobarbital, the drug used to euthanize animals, were found in Ol' Roy canned dog food. How does a euthanasia drug get into pet food? Through rendered meat products from euthanized animals. The FDA investigation found that some rendering facilities were processing euthanized horses, dogs, and cats into ingredients used in pet food. Is there pentobarbital in Ol' Roy right now? Probably not. The specific lots were recalled and regulations have tightened. But the fact that it happened at all is horrifying. Your dog eating food made from euthanized pets is nightmare fuel. Beyond contamination scandals, Ol' Roy's ingredient quality is bottom tier. The first ingredient is often corn or soybean meal. Meat byproducts appear high on the list. Artificial colors and flavors are common. The protein sources are vague. Meat and bone meal tells you nothing about what animal or what quality. Veterinarians see the effects of low-quality diets every day. Poor coat condition, chronic ear infections, skin problems, obesity, dental disease. Ol' Roy exists because people need affordable dog food, I get that. But affordable shouldn't mean dangerous. There are budget brands that don't have pentobarbital and melamine in their recall history. Finding euthanasia drugs in dog food is absolutely horrifying. But what about a brand you relied on for prescription diets? 3. Hill's Science Diet and Prescription Diet. Your vet hands you a prescription. Hill's prescription diet for your dog's kidney disease. You trust it because it's vet recommended. Scientifically formulated, right? Well, in early 2019, Hill's recalled 86 lots, covering 33 different varieties of canned dog food. Why? Vitamin D levels up to 70 times higher than intended. We're talking about approximately 22 million cans of food. This was a massive systematic failure at one of the most trusted names in veterinary nutrition. Vitamin D overdose causes hypercalcemia, dangerously high calcium levels in the blood. Symptoms include vomiting, loss of appetite, increased thirst and urination, excessive drooling, and weight loss. In severe cases, it causes kidney dysfunction and kidney failure. which is darkly ironic considering many of these foods were prescribed specifically for dogs with kidney disease. The FDA investigation found that Hill's supplier had provided a vitamin premix with dangerously high vitamin D concentrations. But Hill's had a certificate of analysis from the supplier saying the premix was correct. They never verified it with their own testing. The FDA's warning letter in November 2019 stated that Hill's had failed to follow their own food safety plan. They had the procedures in place. They just didn't follow them. Court documents from the resulting class action lawsuit revealed that Hill's knew about the problem weeks before the first recall announcement. The delay meant more dogs consumed the toxic food. The company eventually settled for $12.5 million in 2021. They also committed to implementing third-party testing of all vitamin premixes going forward. If your dog was on Hill's prescription diet during early 2019 and showed any of those symptoms, you now know why. Hundreds of dogs were affected. Some died, all because a trusted brand skipped verification steps. Hill's betrayal cut deep, but our number 2 brand hid a deadly toxin in everyday kibble. Number 2. Sport Mix, Midwestern Pet Foods. In December 2020, dogs across the country started dying, vomiting, lethargy, and then within days, liver failure. By January 2021, the death toll was climbing fast. The FDA investigation found the culprit: aflatoxin levels exceeding 500 parts per billion in Sport Mix dry dog food. The legal limit is 20 parts per billion. Some batches tested at over 25 times the safe level. This wasn't just some minor violation, this was a toxic exposure that killed dogs in days. The final count saw over 110 dogs dead and more than 210 sick. The contamination traced back to corn sourced from Midwestern Pet Foods' Oklahoma facility. But here's what made this tragedy worse. The initial recall in December 2020 covered 28 products. By January, it expanded to over 1,000 lot codes. The company eventually recalled everything with corn from that facility with expiration dates before July 2022. That's how widespread the contamination was. Aflatoxin comes from mold that grows on corn, peanuts, and other crops, especially during drought conditions or improper storage. It targets the liver. Early symptoms include loss of symptoms, appetite, lethargy, vomiting, and orange or jaundice-colored eyes and gums. By the time most owners realized something was wrong, the damage was irreversible. One owner reported their healthy 3-year-old lab went from normal to dead in 5 days. Another lost 2 dogs from the same bag of food. Sport Mix was a budget brand sold at farm stores and independent pet retailers. The price point attracted families trying to save money. Instead, they paid with their dogs' lives. Court documents from resulting lawsuits revealed that Midwestern Pet Foods had been cited for safety violations at multiple facilities in the years before the aflatoxin crisis. If you've got Sport Mix in your pantry, throw it out. I don't care if the expiration date looks fine. After 110 deaths, trust is gone. And now, the number 1 brand I'd avoid at all costs. 1. Darwin's Natural Pet Products. Aero Reliance Inc. Darwin's Natural Pet Products isn't just on this list for one bad batch. They've built a pattern that spans 5 years and counting. 2019, Salmonella in raw dog food. 3 lots recalled. 2022, Salmonella again, this time in raw cat food. 3 kittens got sick. October 2023, 4 more lots, more Salmonella. You'd think they'd figure out the problem by now, right? Wrong. In February 2024, the FDA connected Darwin's raw dog food to that hospitalized 4-year-old in Connecticut I mentioned in the opening. E. coli, the strain that causes hemolytic uremic syndrome, a life-threatening kidney condition. The child didn't eat the dog food. The child touched the dog. That's how serious this contamination was. But here's where it gets wild. After the child's hospitalization, after years of Salmonella findings, after the FDA specifically recommended recalls in multiple instances, Darwin's refused. They argued their products were safe. They claimed their pathogen control treatment made recalls unnecessary. The FDA disagreed and issued a public warning letter in February 2023, stating that Darwin's was using an unauthorized pathogen treatment and operating in violation of federal regulations. As of late 2024 and early 2025, testing continued finding Salmonella and Listeria in Darwin's products. The company continued refusing voluntary recalls. The FDA continued warning consumers. This is a company choosing to keep contaminated food in homes with pets and children. If you're feeding Darwin's, you're gambling with every meal. Not just your dog's health, but your family's too. I know that's some heavy info to digest. And the question you're probably asking now is, what should I feed my dog then? Well, here are 4 brands that have clean recall histories, transparent manufacturing, and third-party testing to back up their safety claims. But first, if this video got you thinking, hit that like button and subscribe. Also, I'd like to know, have you fed your dog any of the brands in this list? And if so, would you still be using them? Tell me in the comments. Now the good ones. Number 1. Purina Pro Plan. I know, I just dragged Purina's Beneful brand. But here's the thing, Purina is massive, and different product lines have different quality standards. Pro Plan is their veterinary recommended line, and it's a completely different animal than Beneful. Pro Plan has a clean recent recall history. The company operates their own manufacturing facilities with veterinarians on staff. They conduct feeding trials, not just formulation calculations. They publish their research in peer-reviewed journals. Their quality control includes multiple testing checkpoints from ingredient sourcing through finished product. Pro Plan offers formulas for specific life stages, sizes, and health conditions. The sport formula is used by professional handlers and working dog kennels. The veterinary diets line includes prescription formulas developed with veterinary nutritionists. Is it perfect? No brand is, but Pro Plan has the resources, infrastructure, and track record that smaller brands simply can't match. If your vet recommends Pro Plan, you can trust it. Number 2. Royal Canin. Royal Canin is another veterinary recommended brand with an extensive product line. They're known for breed-specific formulas and prescription diets for medical conditions. Royal Canin operates their own research facilities and manufacturing plants. They employ over 220 veterinarians, nutritionists, and scientists globally. Their formulas are based on decades of research into breed-specific nutritional needs, life stage requirements, and medical nutrition. The safety record is solid. Royal Canin has had minimal recalls, and their quality control includes testing raw ingredients, in-process monitoring, and finished product testing before release. Yes, Royal Canin is expensive, but you're paying for research, quality control, and consistency. Number 3. Wellness Core. Wellness Core is a grain-free, high-protein line from the Wellness brand. While the parent company has had minor recalls in the past, no company is immune. Wellness has maintained a strong safety record overall, and has been transparent when issues arise. Wellness uses named meat sources as the first ingredients. They avoid byproducts, artificial preservatives, and fillers. They also conduct third-party testing for contaminants. Their manufacturing facilities are located in the United States with published quality control protocols. The Wellness brand publishes their ingredient sourcing information. They test for heavy metals, pesticides, and pathogens. If you're looking for a premium brand without the veterinary price tag, Wellness Core is a good middle ground between budget and prescription formulas. Number 4. Origin. Origin takes a biologically appropriate approach with high meat content, low carbohydrate formulas, and fresh regional ingredients. They're made by Champion Pet Foods, a Canadian company with a solid reputation. Origin uses fresh or raw animal ingredients as the majority of their formulas. They include organs, cartilage, and bone for nutritional completeness. They avoid high glycemic carbohydrates and focus on low glycemic vegetables and fruits. Champion Pet Foods owns and operates their own manufacturing facilities in Kentucky and Alberta. They conduct testing at multiple stages: raw ingredients, in-process, and finished product. They publish their quality certifications and invite facility tours. Yes, Origin is expensive, but if you have the budget and want to feed a meat-forward, minimally processed diet without the risks of raw feeding, Origin delivers. That's it! 10 dog food brands, contaminated batches, dead pets, hospitalized children, and companies that looked the FDA in the eye and refused to recall. And of course, 4 brands that have actually earned a spot in your dog's bowl. Look, your dog can't read labels, research recalls, or read FDA warnings. That's your job. And these companies are betting you won't bother. So if you have any of those 10 brands in your pantry, dump them out now. And tell me in the comments, which of these brands hit you hardest? The 110 dead dogs? The euthanasia drug in the kibble? Or the company that put a 4-year-old in the hospital and still refused to recall? I'd like to know. If this video just saved your dog or kid, share it with every dog owner you know. Hit subscribe so you don't miss the next investigation where we expose what the pet food industry doesn't want you to see. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.